Jose, how early in your presentation do you find out if the person has a bank account?
When I'm going to start quoting, after I do my guarantees card. I don't know if you guys heard of that. I think Nick uses the same. So I think let's see if I can get this introduction, the table, read them back the card, um, find out the reason, find out if they have something. I never move past not knowing what they have. I have to find out.
Yeah.
It, um, and then once I do, um, probably educate them if I need to on what they have or whatever, and set myself up for the next step. But let me show you how these programs work. And I pull out my guarantees card. I go over that with them. Benefits never decrease. I'm sure you've heard it before.
Kind of explaining what whole life is at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, premiums never increase. Yeah, and then so after that, it is. Yeah, that's when I find out if they have a bank account. So I'll say, now before I get into pricing or anything like that, some of these companies give you a better price if you have a checking or savings account. Do you have a checking or savings account? They say yes. Say okay, that's fine. Just give you many more options. They say no. What do you use? What do you use? I learned that from JD. And see, the thing of it is, I learned these things from the people that have already made it in this business. I don't reinvent anything. I might mix and match things, but I don't do my own. I take something from someone that is already a monster producer, and I don't change anything.
Yeah,
I just use it the exact same way that he does it.
Yeah,
the way he delivers it's the way I'm going to deliver it. I don't. I just do it that way, and then I piece it together with other parts. But all the parts that I use in my presentation are all parts that I picked up from the right sources, from Travis Tubbs, John Duggar. These are the people that I consider my mentors, and as far as sales and my presentation goes and things like that. I've Jose'd my presentation quite a bit where it's now mine, but at first I didn't change it. I don't. First, you got to learn. I was always taught you got to learn their way before you start trying to do yours, and so I did their way 100%. And then once I was efficient and doing it, because then you have a base, that this works. Then you can start playing with it. Because if it fails, just go back to what you do know works. And so then now you can start exploring. And so I've changed a few things more to my liking, and I made sure I wasn't getting any less business by the changes I made. And so now it's kind of transplant of some things from Travis, some things from JD, and then a lot of my stuff in there. But
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, that's when I asked for the banking information.
So about midway through your presentation is when you ask for
Once
it?
I know there's a sale, no need to ask before there's no sale. If there's nothing, I don't even waste time. I'm not there yet. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I don't think it's a big deal to ask for a bank account. Some people say it's a big deal. I really don't find the problem. Now, before I get into pricing, some of these companies give a better price if you have a checking or savings account. Do you have a checking or savings account? It's no big deal. Most of them, yeah, I do. Okay. And then I always button it up, kind of brings it back down to not to worry about it, kind of. I'll say, that's fine. It just gives you many more options. And I continue. I just started my quoting,
Sure.
That's pretty much how I get the banking information.
Vince, is it similar to the same to you? Do you find out pretty early, or do you find out kind of midway through the conversation?
Well, the first thing I do, of course, is I want to get to know them a little bit and warmed up. It takes about 2 minutes. I'll ask them if they've ever dealt, with planning final expenses or know someone who has. And then, they'll tell me, I'll ask them if they had insurance or not, and then they'll say yes or no. And that's kind of where I start I guess that's where my close starts, because I build that value of insurance right from the very beginning. And then I find the need. That's the next step. And the next step, after I find the need or find out if they have any other insurance, then I go right into the education. And during that education, in the middle of that's when I find out the bank account.
Cool.
With accidental, like I said before.
Sure.
Right.
Nick?
Educate them on term, educate them on accidental, educate them on whole life. When I'm talking about accidental, so they have their credit unions or banks, where a lot of people get at their credit unions or their banks to, if your bank offers anything like that.
Similar to you, Nick, kind of like Jose.
I actually go later than Jose does. Now, I have the benefit of the company that I write in most people's houses takes direct express cards,
Sure.
and credit cards, and like any way that you want to pay. So I don't need to worry about finding out how they're going to pay, as long as I know that they are going to pay with something that I consider a valid form of payment. So I don't accept people who take money orders. If you can only pay with a money order, you're going to have to find a different agent. But I used to, when I was brand new, I took people who took money orders, and it was a headache. And oh gosh, I wish I didn't. I wish I had listened to the advice that I was given back then, not to take people who take money orders. I do still have one lady that I wrote with Settlers back when I very, very first started, who's still diligently sending in a $60 a month money order. It's amazing. But I actually don't ask them for any of their banking information until we filled out pretty much the entire application. We fill out the entire application. I'm getting ready to do a telephone interview. Oh, by the way, we talk as we're filling out the application. One of the things we talk about is a billing date. So I say, do you get paid on one of the Wednesdays? Do you get paid on the first or the third? Because the company that I'm working with is going to coordinate some of that stuff for you. And and so they'll tell me when their billing date is, and I'm great. So we'll set it up for the automatic payment to be the second Wednesday of the next month, or whatever they tell me, right? And they say, oh yeah, sure. And so we get down to doing calling in to do the telephone interview. And I say, okay, hey, by the way, as I'm getting this dialed in, I'm going to need to talk to them for a couple minutes. Why don't you go run and get me your checking account information so I can fill that out while you're on the phone with them, and we don't have to waste any time.
How many freeze at that point? How many
none.
go? Really?
None. Yeah, because they've already signed paperwork and stuff.
Got it.
They've already signed their name. Nobody. And I do it then mostly just because that's a convenient time for me to do it. I could do it earlier, and if I'm writing a different company, I do.
Sure.
Like if I'm writing a company that doesn't take direct express, I check.
Sure.
But if I know I'm going to be writing my primary company, then
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I do mine. I kind of use it the same way. I'm like, if you're like most of my clients, you probably get Social Security or disability, and they say, yeah, I get Social Security. And I say, okay, so do you get your money on one of those silly little green cards, or do you have it sent at your bank or checking account? And the silly little green card is a direct express card. And I have a few companies that'll take those as well, so it's not that big of a deal. I don't like writing them because you don't get paid advances on them. But if you have enough business on the books, you're not really worried about it. And here's another thing for newer agents. Early on, try to take as little direct express cards as possible, because the persistency is not the best in the world. Can we all agree there? Or Nick, do you find it?
I would say that they change, if they lose their car, they'll change the card number and stuff like that. That's a big problem.
that's for. Sorry, yeah, no, I was gonna say, I'm just agreeing with you. I think that's the biggest problem with it for me also.
They lose them.
Right. They change their card. Their card numbers change. Their numbers expire.
Don't those cards expire like every 2 years or something like that?
Every 2 years, yeah, and they never update them.
Right.
Like I've never had anybody call into the company to update their expiration date. So it's a pain in the butt.
But of course I will, Mr. Nick. I'm going to do it. Don't worry about it. I need this. I'm definitely going to call in.
Yeah.
I've never lost this card.
No,
absolutely. I've had it for 2 months this time.
Yeah. I have a surprising number of prospects who tell me that they've had all their information hacked and they needed to get a new card.
That's what this lady just said Friday. and she just had a heart attack a month ago, so she can't even qualify for a level of coverage anymore. So
Rough.
we got it fixed, but still.
Rough.
Hey, that's final expense. So I asked mine fairly early on if they have it, and I don't do it as are you a buyer or non-buyer? It's because I like to know how they're going to pay, so I know which companies I need to lead with.
I guess all 4 ways work.
They all work. That's the thing is everybody has like a little bit different way, but at the end of the day, it's the end thing is we're going to close. Nick, I know you said your closing percent is like 90%, right?
Yeah, something like that. Like
89.
85-ish, probably.
85.
Just closer.
Vince, what about you?
I would say it's probably around there, maybe 70s, 80, something like that, from the people I actually do a presentation with. Most of the time, I'm going to close them.
And Jose, you're closing at about 150%.
Probably in the 90s also.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I don't know. I've gotten where I go in there and if there's not a sale, I'm surprised. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Right? Like, where did this one go wrong?
Wrong here.
I'm sure we can all agree that the close, you pretty much know you got to sell if you can find the need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
99% of the time, you're going to close them if you can find the need.
Yeah, I mean, and with non-sales, like you almost always know within like 5 minutes because of that, right? Like,
yeah, I was going to say about 5 minutes.
It's you're in and out really fast, to the point where I tell people on the phone, I have no problems if I'm setting an appointment and somebody says, "How long are you going to be here?" And I said, probably about 5 minutes, because if I'm there for as long as it's going to take, if they're not going to buy, I'm out of there in 5 minutes. If they're going to buy, they're not going to care that I'm there longer.
Right. Yeah, probably about 5 minutes. I'm probably going to leave your house in about 5 minutes because you're not worth.
See, now I'm going to say 5 minutes. I never felt comfortable with that. I usually would say 10.
No,
because I thought that was being untruthful, but you made it make sense. So I'm going to say 5 now.
Say 5.
It's justified.
Yeah.
I used to say 2 to 3 minutes, and now I'll say a few minutes, but 2 to 3. I mean, because I can really, literally go over the information in 2 to 3 minutes if I have to.
Yeah. And if they're going to be a dick about you getting out of their house, then you'll be out. You'll find somebody else to talk to.
I ain't got time for this. Just make sure, Jose, you set all your appointments and then go out and see them. Do you do a lot of door knocking?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just I never go out in the field with less than 7 appointments. I mean, one odd reason, a couple weeks, a year or something for some reason, whatever. But
sure,
7's my goal. I have 7, sometimes 8 if they can only meet at 7 or 7:30 at night. Then I'll meet them at that time. So I'll have 8 that day. I start at 9 and I do them every hour and a half because mine are kind of spread out. I try to make them together, but it really never works out. And so my last one's at 6. 9, 10:30, 12, 1:30, 3, 4:30, and 6. So I might do the 7 o'clock sometimes. But if I get no-showed or if there wasn't a sale there, because I can tell if there's not a sale in the first, like you say, 5 minutes, you kind of know there's no why. It's like, let's get out of here. I don't waste time. So if there's no sale there, I'll immediately get up and go. And I do door knocks then.
Sure.
And then, or if there's a no-show, I do 1 or 2 in between real quick. I have my leads set up in a certain way that I can tell where they're at, because when I get my 20 leads every week, I put a little map on them and a dot where the person lives. So if there's a no-show, I just look at the ones that didn't have a phone number or ones that I need to pay visit and, for door knock, and I look through them, find something that's close or 2, pull them out, and I'm immediately heading in that direction. So
Wait, Jose, you mean you actually map out your leads, you know where they're going to be before you call them and set them, and you're organized with your business?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. No wonder you wrote 300,000. I thought it was just you were just going out there and you're that good of a closer. You just walk around all day and then throw a dart near a bullseye and you're going to have bullseye. That's crazy, man. So
I
it's
put these things.
Yeah.
Like here, I'll show you one. Every single lead of mine has see this little diagram?
Yep. Now I don't want to look at your lead. I'm trying not to.
It's okay. I don't care.
It's,
See
it's
it
not in
there?
focus, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's a little dot there, and so
Yeah.
I know exactly. I pull up the map where my dot's at, where I'm at, and if I'm right next to that lead, I'm gonna go to this person's house for a door knock, or if the lead didn't have a phone number or whatever. So it's really efficient. It's like what's that, base or not base?
It's not base anymore. It's
Audio.
They cut that out. Spadio, yeah.
Okay, it's like
Spadio
that,
seems
but
great.
yeah, I'm not.
No.
It's not for me. It's so many. You pull it up and it's just red with dots. It's like for,
Oh, right. Yeah, because
so many.
you've got thousands of leads at this point, right?
And you don't have all the information. You got to click on the dot. This lead card will have notes from me. Like
that's cool.
Sometimes I'll put like PV, like pay visit. I want to put something that they don't know what it means, only me. And if I put N, it means they were nice. Pay visit, nice. If they were mean,
Nice.
I'll put an M. Like, hey, they're these. So I'll kind of know what to expect. So I can see this in my little notes, and it makes it efficient. If I don't want to bother with the bad ones, I'll go to one of the nice pay visit that was like husband and wife at good ages. I'll door knock those if I'm trying to make the most and not go through the garbage ones so much on some days if I'm trying to hit some goal or whatever. But you can be really efficient doing it the way I do it. I know it's manual, but
Sure. Well, I mean, so what I'm trying to get at is Jose is when raw talent meets organization, or being organized in your craft. Like, you can be really bad at sales and be organized and still do really well in this business. But if you have a raw talent like Jose is, and then you're also organized, it's just he's stacking the odds in his favor. He's hitting on black or on red every time, and doubling tripling his cash. I mean, it's nice to see, man. So there's not.
I was always taught no wasted moves.
No
in
wasted
any
moves.
job. No wasted moves, man. Just be very super efficient.
That's awesome, man. Well, guys, it's been awesome. Jose, thanks for taking the time on your family day. It's Sunday. I know it's hard to get away from family, but we really appreciate you being here. Hopefully you can be back on another day and shed some more knowledge on us, man. It's when you get somebody that's closing as much business as you, it's really nice to spend time and talk with them for any more than 5 minutes is fantastic. So I appreciate you being here. Anything else you want to say, Jose, before we jump out of here?
No, it's been great. I guess you're going to have JD back on. That should be awesome. Nick, try to get Travis Tubbs back on. I mean, not back on, but try to get him on here.
Listen. If Travis wants to come on, that would be amazing. I'm not sure that he wants to do these types of things, but I'm.
Jose, real quick, let's check, see if you got it. Have you subscribed to the insurance panel?
I have, yeah, and I hit the bell.
You're awesome. I appreciate you being here, Vince. Always a pleasure. What time is it, Vince?
8:11.
It's 8:11. That's how we end our videos now. Guys, you're awesome. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.